Hey guys, so it's been a while. I know I was going to tell you guys what happened to the Bad Boss's motor last video or a couple of videos ago. I don't really remember. So we did end up... it's not that one, it's third. Alright, so we did end up spinning a bearing on the third rod, which destroyed the rod. The crank is on the shelf there. It's kind of destroyed too. You're like, man, there's cams, motor. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna take apart the rest of the block. I went to Kenny U-Pull and I pulled this new block out. Couple of reasons for that. I did put this manifold for sale. That turbo is now junk. I did fix my whole set turbo with a new compressor wheel. It's really cold out, so I got the little buddy heater going on. It's actually snowing. We got snow coming in the garage. Snowing a bit. We got drift missile or Canada Drift Week, and then we have Pizarski's new Evo for sale, and then Pizarski's Silver Evo, which is never going to be for sale, so don't even ask. So I picked up a 420G SMG trans out of a BMW M3, sold my AR5 with the bell housing for a 4G63. So I need to cut a flange out, mill the bell housing a bit, and weld the new flange on. One of the reasons I want to go, or that I am going with a BMW M Trans, is the gear ratios. It's actually pretty expensive to get a shorter ratio for the diff, and the easiest way to do it, get a transmission with shorter ratios. It's also way stronger than an AR5, so I shouldn't have any problems with this blowing up on me. So we're good there. So the plan for the motor is to use this new block, which has hopefully a good crank. I have to take it apart. It has a good oil pump, so I'm going to use that oil pump. I got to take it apart first, but if it has a good oil pump, I'm going to get a GSC balance shaft delete kit. This oil pump is actually, it's no good. So what I think happened is, even with the straight cut gears, if I had the balance shaft delete, if I put my timing belt too tight, they would actually pull up onto the block and making the gears score inside the oil pump. Now I don't think that's the point of failure. I really think that the tuner, we didn't have a fan in front. I don't think he had my rad fan on. The cooler, I had an oil cooler, but since there's no fan in front, it didn't do anything. The serpentine belt came off, and I found out after the 4G63 and the 4G69 have different like spacing on the crank. So if I would have used a 4G69 harmonic balancer, then I wouldn't have had this problem, because it would have been all in line. Basically it was like a 1/4 inch off, and the more the engine revved, it just like shot itself, but we didn't see that. So he must have done, I'm guessing, between 5 and 15 poles, no balancer, no serpentine belt. So you can just imagine the oil pump, the water pump's not going, the alternator's not charging, and I'm guessing because of the low voltage or something, he didn't see that it was low voltage, but I'm guessing he didn't see the coolant temperature rising because they like something with the voltage on the computer. So it started, because I asked him how much was it at. He's like, oh, it was only 82. So I'm like, that makes no sense, because it was like boiling out of the overflow. So I'm guessing he overcooked the oil. It might have been just a tad low too. He says, oh, it must have been wearing out for a long time. It's impossible. It's a new fucking motor. Which is impossible because it's a new motor that I just put together. I had the, and then everybody's like, oh, you didn't have enough load, whatever, to test it. I'm like, it had at least like 10 hours of runtime. And driving around the street here, and I did a couple donuts. I went to the dyno. and then the clutch let go. So it had some runtime, and then when I had the engine out, I redid the oil pan, and there was nothing in that oil pan before the dyno. So yeah, I think he fucked up. Anyways, happens, I guess. Luckily I found this block at Kenny's really cheap, so we're going to use the GSC balance shaft delete shaft. Basically it has no balance shaft, but it has a shaft that goes all the way to the end of the block, so you don't spin that bearing back of the block, and now it'll have, like, the oil pump will have rigidity, I guess, throughout the block. I don't know a lot about that stuff, but I know that there's something wrong happened and I'm trying to fix it. So we're still going to be using that head. I actually picked up two Hyundai G4JS heads, which are basically Evo heads with weaker internals. So yesterday I went ahead and took out all the rockers, all the valves and valve springs, threw that all out. I kept the lifters because I believe these are good. It's the revised Mitsubishi big hole lifter, 3mm lifter. So I'll have to do some research if I can use that. I'd like to use that, just clean them out, because now this one, it's got bearing material all over. It's pretty sad sight to see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the head off, and I'm gonna I already had the valve cover off, and the cams were real nice. So I'm not afraid about the cams, but I am gonna have to get I do want to get this head milled. I want to get the new block milled. I'm gonna get a new head gasket, one new rod from Eagle, since one of them is bad. Then I'm gonna have to get the block honed. It's not really a bore hone because it's 87 mil. It's just like a cleanup hone, I guess you could call it. And then get the crank measured, order the right bearings. So bearings, one rod, head gasket, the mill work on the block and the head. Yeah, put those new lifters, because even though these lifters are like brand new, I'm afraid they might have like bearing material in them. I kind of don't want that to happen, but there is actually no bearing material in the head, so I think the head might be completely fine, but I'd rather not chance it, right? Since this is a race motor. Alright guys, so I got the valve cover off, I got the cams out. I was really scared of breaking them just because of what happened to Ryan a couple weeks ago. So I was really slowly to do the sequence of just like quarter turn, quarter turn, quarter turn, quarter turn, like, so it took like a longer than it should probably, but the cams are in one piece. I'm gonna oil them up, wrap them in saran wrap, store them, and then I'm gonna take out all these rockers. Basically they're just like free floating in there, and I'm gonna inspect all of them, bag them, get them ready to clean. If not, I do have all these other rockers, but they all have like a little bit of scoring, so I'm gonna have to go look through all that. These are all off the G4JS block. I did notice one difference between this block and that block is, the heads, sorry, is the cam caps. They have like guides, so maybe like these are stronger, but they're torqued to 15 like foot-pounds or something, so there's not like a lot of load on it, so I don't think it really makes a difference, but this would make it technically stronger, but there's like almost no load on a cam. And everything looks good. All the surface where the cam rides on is nice and clean. The cams did get like a bit of surface rust, if you want. It comes off if you rub it with your fingers, so I'll have to give them a nice clean. Make sure they're nice and oiled. Take these plates off. Basically I'm going to get the head decked, so I need to take out I'm going to take out all the valves, just because I think when he decks it, one of the valve sides, I don't remember which one, it protrudes a little too much. So yeah, Kigley Racing HLA. It keeps all the lifters to 15 pounds. instead of like whatever the oil pressure coming out of the block is, like 80 pounds or something, making it basically solid lifters. But yeah, yep. All right. Oh, also I took the exhaust off. I'm probably sold this. I probably sold the Force Performance manifold because I want to go to tubular top mount T3 flange. This bowl hole is leaking a lot. I thought it was the head gasket maybe that wasn't sealed because the deck wasn't blocked. The block and the head weren't decked, but but my engine builder had told me that the head was straight, and he sand blocked it, block sand it. Anyways, it was nice and straight, so it didn't need to get machined. I'll have to see with him again. But he was leaking oil like crazy out of here, and I was sure it was leaking out of the back of the head here, the head gasket, but now I'm thinking it's really just this, because I don't know if you can see that the oil drain port actually passes through the head here, and the studs are on the other side. Plus I messed up this stud when I installed it because I had to put a helicoil. Yeah, big ordeal, so I'm gonna redo the helicoil on that one. I didn't put the right threaded stud in for the helicoil, and I didn't put any thread locker or anything on the threads, so it's probably why it's leaking. Yeah, overall the head's in really good condition, no bearing material, so pretty stoked on that. Now I'm gonna get all these rockers and lifters out, bagged, and tagged, ready to get cleaned for reinstallation, and I'll go ahead and pull the head off, and then take the ARP head studs out. I guess, since I'm not going to reuse this block, I'm going to go to that block right over there, get a nice fresh start. I'm also going to change the valve seals, which are under the valve springs this time. I had only changed, I believe, these two and those two, or just these two, I don't remember. Anyways, I'm going to change them all. It's not something that costs a lot. It's like $2 a valve seal or something, and plus I think I have some somewhere in like my gaskets kit over there. You guys can see I have a lot of freaking extra shit, the BC coilovers, axles for the Lexus, heads, extra 4G69 block, a head. I mean, we picked up a couple more blocks, 2 more heads there. There's a brand new machine block there. There's a block there. I got 3 blocks there. There's one actually underneath that coat over there. Yeah, we're hooked up on 4G63 parts, let's just say. And what's nice is all the valves, rockers, lifters, everything in the head basically except for the cams are interchangeable. From Evo 1, 1992 to Evo 9, which is crazy. So that's it for right now. Let's take this head off. And I think I'm gonna have to change the battery on my camera. She's dying a bit. We got the toque on because it's cold and it's snowing out now. It's really snowing. Anyways, let's do this.
Highway damages and stuff. We have the Raspberry. We got the.
Got my Roku. Shut up. All right, so I'm just listening like whatever playlist, Drift Week one, and I got the block apart. Just took out the ARP main studs out. Everything in this box here, so I don't lose anything. Cams are out. Rockers are out. I don't think I'm gonna take the valve springs out, and I don't think I'll have to machine the head Just yet. I'll have to talk to Glenn. So we spun a rod bearing on cylinder number 3. Let me show you the oil pan. Can't really see it, but you can see it's like all bronze and shit in there. Yeah, that's nasty. Okay, I assemble this engine. So, okay, so I'm the one who assembled this block. I just noticed something here. I don't know if I'll be able to get that. So 954, 951. This is the rod that's spun. 951, 954, 174, 174, 181, 181. So what I think happened is I inversed the cap for 1 and 3, and 3 was probably making more torque on that cylinder, and with the oil being boiling and no cooling, it probably, that's why it spun, because they're not supposed to be made to put together. So that kind of means this rod's kind of fucked too, unless I get it line bored or whatever. Another thing I noticed was the coating on the pistons is kind of scratched up, so I don't know if that's good or not. I'm gonna ask my engine builder. He might just like take off the coating completely, and then the tolerances for no coating. I was reading the Manly. It says coated skirt is on a Mitsubishi 3 thou, and then an uncoated skirt is 4 thou. I don't know why it'd be bigger with no coating. Anyways, I guess the coating makes it slip better, so it needs less room. I don't know. Anyways, just gonna get a set of 4 rods, change the rods. The rest of the block is really good. I mean, I'm really pissed about that. That kind of sucks. Anyways, let's see what my engine builder says. When I took off the head, I was looking in the gasket. I was so sure it was leaking, but I guess it wasn't. I suppose you could reuse a head gasket, which I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna get a new head gasket, but I will keep that gasket in case I want to build like a NA, like a cheap NA with like maybe like 5 psi of boost or something. Basically, I'll use one of these 2 heads here, take valves out of another one, and just hand compound grind them, put like all the things, and I still have my Evo 5 cams somewhere, which and cam gears, stock cam gears, that I could just slap in there and run, I don't know, like 5-10 pounds, make like a 250 wheel or something stupid. Or in case like I blow this engine and it's like I need an engine tonight, we could do that. Anyways, shit happens. Oh well. Now another thing is, I remember I spun the pistons inside the block, and these are directional pistons. I'm pretty sure, because there's a dot on one side and not on the other side, that the piston goes a certain way. It's written Manly on both sides. I'll have to go check on the Manly website. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for tonight. I am just going to saran wrap these cams. I'm going to give them a nice coat of oil on them, and call it a night, because it's getting near supper time and I got to take care of my 2 kids, because I have 2 kids now. I got Chelsea. You guys have met Chelsea. She's been in a couple of videos, and now I have a new son called Ethan Fox. And yeah, it's more work, but you know what? One day they'll be in the garage helping me on my cars, I guess. If you don't have friends, make friends. On this block, I made sure to get the harmonic balancer, so I'm going to clean that up and make sure it's all good and not tight. Never heard of a Mitsubishi harmonic balancer letting go, but never know. I'm going to clean this block up, and then I have to take this block off, put it somewhere to store, because I can still use this, and I could like use these pistons, and then I have some 7-bolt 4G63 rods that you can put on these pistons, and then you can technically bring that block up to like 400 wheel and not blow it up. But yeah, plans, making horsepower the cheap way. So before I close out this video, I want to show you another thing I'm doing. Is I started fitting up a right-hand drive Evo dash in the Lexus. It has an Evo motor. Why not an Evo dash? The dash that was in here before was cut up in 3 spots, glued back together, bolt holes everywhere, and like metal screws showing. So the other cool thing is I'm going to try and get this cluster to work and the RPM to work, because I've never had a working RPM in this car and I'd love to know what it's at. The other thing that kind of sucks is that I'll lose that carbon fiber trim that I had in the middle. So that kind of sucks. I'm thinking of making another thing here for the switch panel. Playing with the idea of keeping this little boot. Normally, since it's like front wheel drive setup, it's much lower, so like the bottom half and like the cubby hole and stuff is all there. But anyways, yeah, it fits in there pretty good. I did have to cut it up some around the windshield. I kept a piece at the top of the dash from the Lexus dash, just so I can cut out the outline. And basically the Evo dash used to come out to like here maybe, so I cut it like a good, maybe like 3 inches out of it. You can see like the little cut line. You won't see that eventually. The dash does go up a bit more in, but there's no mounting tabs. This is the part I kept. So this used to go on the dash. So I have the outline of how to do it. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna flock the dash nice black, and then the interior should be done. Other than, I want 2 new seats. I'd love to have 2 red seats. If I can get a Sparkle Sprint red for next year, it'd be sweet. I do need to get a new driver's seat because I want to drift in competitions, and that one's no longer FIA legal. And passenger seat will just take out, so I don't have to change the bride. But yeah, I'm gonna make a new downpipe because we're gonna go top mount manifold, and I'd like to paint the interior, the whole interior, because I have to add a diagonal bar going the other way. And I'm gonna probably repaint the interior, or just try and get a close touch up, and then maybe touch up. The paint's actually really not that bad, so I might just, and it's a drift car, so it's like whatever. We'll see. If you guys enjoyed this video, give a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe for more. Hit the notification bell for when I put videos randomly every couple months. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.